I can't tell you what a horrible. Hi, everybody. Welcome to DG360. And I saw this in my feed, and I know that my phone is listening to me. Okay, this is a personal pick by me, and I think I talked about this way too much over the weekend. And the reason why is Christy sat down and she said, "Hey, DG," this is my girlfriend Christy, said, "Hey, DG, let's sit down and let's watch the ACOLYTE." Now I knew this was a bad idea right from the start. But because it's Star Wars and I am so attached to those old school Star Wars feelings still to this day, even after Disney has literally ran it over 1,000 times, dragged it through the mud, pooped on it, taken it out of the poopy puddle, then sneezed on it, coughed on it, and did all crazy types of things to the franchise, and then put it back in its butt, and then pooped it out in a toilet again. Even after what Disney has done to the entire Star Wars franchise, I am still hooked to those old school vibes from when I was a kid. And you know, I got to remember that Star Wars is dead. And it's a sad thing. And I don't want to go there. I don't want to say Star Wars is dead, because in my heart, in those memories, Star Wars is still very much alive in me. Okay. When I watch everything, with the exception of Mandalorian season 1, but for the most part, has been an entire shit fest, okay? But I tell Christy, because I respect that Christy likes sci-fi. Like, I respect that Christy likes sci-fi. She likes The Expanse. In fact, it was Christy that was like, "Hey, let's watch The Expanse," before I even heard of it. Christy was on that. Christy was on The Expanse, so she's found some good things. So I was like, okay, it's Star Wars. I know it's Disney. I'm just gonna sit down with my girlfriend. I'm gonna sit there, and I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, they're mixing up Kung Fu with the Force. Okay, let's hope they don't really screw this one up. I knew that they would. I'm like, and I had a come to Jesus moment. I was like, okay, well, let me just sit down with Christy and let me just try to get through this. I legit couldn't get through the first episode. I watched the second one as a pity kind of watch, and then that was it. And I told her, I was like, I can't do this. I'm out. And I'm referring to the new series, The ACOLYTE. Okay, now I saw this in my feed. Let's watch this. This is by a dude named Nerdrotic. I've never heard of this dude. Let's check it out. Let's do this.
Previously on The ACOLYTE.
You do not want to go down this road.
Because you have been down there, Neo. You know that road.
Frozen meets Kill Bill. I'm curious what that means. Can we elaborate? Are we getting a musical? You're not getting a musical.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Don't panic. On the belt line of the automatic pipe, there is a hollow tube. Pull it out and blow on.
Is it really you?
Hello, motherfucker.
Come and play with us, Daddy.
I didn't do it.
I don't care!
I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Hot sand.
Nerderotic.com.
Greetings,
like
you
this
over
guy
1
already.
million awakening wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. I have a question for you all. How do you kill something that's already dead? Well, between Disney Doctor Who and Disney Star Wars, it's a race to find out. I would argue Disney Doctor Who was ahead until the release of the infamous ACOLYTE Episode 3. We were warned this episode would break Star Wars. It would have major ramifications on the Force and destroy some more of George Lucas's lore, which it did. What we weren't warned about was this is the worst single episode of anything Disney Star Wars ever, including Boba Fett and Ahsoka. And it's the perfect representation of the meme. Our expectations were low, but holy So kiss your loved ones, grab a helmet, and if you're a dude, put on a cup, because we're going to talk about the ACOLYTE.
Oh boy. Breaking Bad.
Now, after the thrilling and engaging first 2 episodes where Carrie-Anne Moss Mothma was dispatched in under 5 minutes with a kitchen knife.
For real. What? I mean, for real. You know? I mean, when it opened that way, I mean, really? Really? A Jedi playing on the compassion because she threw a dagger at the barkeep, and like the Jedi Knight looked over and was like, oh no, don't die. I'm going to stop this dagger from killing you. Like the Jedi Knight is not also aware of their combatant and just lets the knife slip through. And like, dudes, that's not the Jedis that I know when I was a kid, man. They just didn't like absent-mindedly forget the person that they were fighting.
Which sets off a murder mystery featuring two identical twins, May and Osha, who have been separated for 16 years but still managed to have the same hairstyle. They are pursued by the guy from Squid Game and some incompetent Jedi, including X-23, Maurice Gibb, and Jedediah Beatties.
Anger is not the way of the Jedi.
Good one. I like this guy. What's this guy? Nerdrotic. I like this guy.
You okay?
So after getting to know Osha and May, identical
Jedediah
twins
Beatties.
played by Amandla Stenberg the exact same way without changing her facial expression, it's time to spend the entire episode 3 of an 8 roughly half-hour each episode series with a flashback that she's not even in. We start out 16 years earlier on the planet Brendok with young May and Osha, who are played by sisters who will eventually grow up to be identical.
We're twins.
And they live in hiding in a giant stone structure on top of a mountain run by an all-female coven of witches.
What could possibly go wrong?
And this all-female coven filled with just a few dozen people must have accomplished architects, engineers, and stonemasons. Did they just run across this fully operational stone structure base?
By the way, this is supposed to be a hidden base. Let that ruminate a little bit. This is supposed to be a hidden base on top of a mountain. Yeah, set in the future. I'm sure no satellites could detect this hidden base. Like, what are they thinking, man? What is going on? Common sense, just common sense, man.
On the top of a mountain, considering they mentioned they only recently arrived at the planet.
Any sign of the visiting Jedi?
None. Our scouts think they've moved their ship inland.
I told you this planet would be safe haven for our coven.
Don't know, but that's the least of this show's problems. Immediately, we learn that young May wants to become a witch, and young Osha does not, as they prepare for their ascension into the all-female coven of indoctrinators. Admittedly, on brand for Disney. And Leslie Headland doesn't waste any time taking George Lucas's lore into Harvey's office. Because this all-female coven of witches that's totally not the Night Sisters wields the power of not the Force, the thread.
The what now?
I know you remember Yoda's speech.
Did they fuck with the Force narrative? Because I'm telling you, I could barely get through the second episode. I didn't see the third episode. So are you telling me that on the third episode they are fucking with the Force? Are they fucking with the Force? They are. Are they fucking with the actual Force? A 20-plus year, I mean, more than that. We're going on nearly 40 years of storytelling based on the Force, and they're going to start fucking with the very foundation of Star Wars now. And they're calling it The Thread? What am I missing? Do I even want to watch this? This is almost as hard to watch. Not from this guy's editing. He's great. Not from the way this guy's presenting this wonderfully. The editing's great, but I'm telling you what, I'm already feeling upset. I don't even think I can get through just him reviewing this if they're going to fuck with the Force. Don't fuck with the Force.
Speech from The Empire Strikes Back describing the Force.
For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it.
Oh my God.
Makes it grow.
Are you kidding me?
Its energy surrounds us.
It's Yoda, man. He's telling us about the Force, right?
Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter.
It appears it needed to be updated for a modern audience.
No.
All living things are connected by the same thread. A thread woven through all of existence. Some call it a force and claim to use it. But we...
No, don't call it something different. Don't call it something different. It's called the Force.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Warning, incoming salad vibes.
3-button pusher. That is a 3-button fire alarm pusher right there. That goes from a boo to a shame to a salad vibes all in one. First time ever happening here on this channel. First time ever happening where you have a 3-button alarm pusher. It is called the Force. It is called the Force by everyone. No one else should call it anything differently. And now what are we calling it? What are we calling it?
You know, the thread is not a power.
Thread. The thread. This fucking social media bullshit, man. What the fuck? What are they doing? What are they doing, man? What are they doing? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, like, what? Why are you fucking with the Force, man?
You wield. Pull the thread.
Pull the thread.
Change everything. It ties you
Listen to this music.
to your destiny. It binds you to others.
And right after Mother Anastasia says that the thread is not a power you wield, she wields the power.
Hadouken!
Oh, this is gonna be a hard watch from this point on. This is gonna be. I love this dude. I love what he's doing, but I am just so. You don't even. I'm seething. I'm seething inside right now. I'm very upset.
Now, apparently, the thread is some gobbledygook having to do
fun.
with the power of one or two or many, and Mother Anastasia demonstrates this by showing the power of one, which is force pushing one woman, or showing the power of two, which is force pushing 2 women, and I'm guessing the power of many is pushing many women.
All I know is that dyke can play.
And after one of the girls' mothers, Mother Anastasia, pushes them to the ground to where they almost hit their head on the steps, the other mother, Coral, hears a noise from the computer room. Is it the Jedi they've already acknowledged they know is on the planet, or is it a computer malfunction because they have no men for IT?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? You're having problem with your computer.
And after another scene about the 2 girls arguing about the Ascension, Mother Anastasia explains what it is.
Ascension is about walking through fear. It is about sacrificing a part of yourself, the power of many, instead of the power of one.
No offense, but it sounds like some commie gobbledygook.
Then we get a heavy dose of modernity.
The galaxy is not a place that welcomes women like us.
Yes, the message is strong with this one, and we're
God.
just getting started. And just in case you weren't convinced in the previous 2 scenes that Osha doesn't want to become a witch and May does, they show you again. And this is where we find out this very peaceful all-female covenant of witches is hunted and persecuted by who? The Republic? The Jedi?
Tonight we enact a ceremony we have not performed since our exile. We were hunted, persecuted, forced into hiding, all because some would consider our power dark, unnatural. We were on the brink of extinction.
What the hell was that? And if that wasn't bad enough, we've finally arrived to the cringe part. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Disney Star Wars.
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
The fuck is going on here? This is some woke agenda bullshit, man. You know, women that are powerful, women that are strong, they don't need to project this feministic thing. The same thing with men. Men don't need to project it. If you're a human fucking being, the only difference, there's a lot of biological differences, but we're all fucking humans. Okay, let's get over this whole like patriarchy, matriarchy bullshit, like blah, 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 like all this fucking like this side, polarities, red and blue, men and women, and all this bullshit. Like there's so much agenda to this. Really strong women don't have to project like this, in the same way really strong men don't. You know, and this is completely some woke agenda bullshit. With all the power of many, like fuck fucking really? Really?
The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
You know, I've seen something like this before. So the ascension ceremony starts, and Maya's imbued with the purple ball of energy force of the thread, but then they are interrupted by the Jedi before Osha could get her purple ball of energy force of the thread.
I love what Mad Style says. My metal bro Mad Style says, only those who project like this are the weak ones. God bless you. Isn't that true, Mad Style? Mad Style. Power from within. You know, the most powerful people I've ever met in my life don't say fuck. They don't say anything. Usually the most powerful people in my life that have been in my life, they don't even have to say anything. You just feel it emanate from them. You know, like truly powerful people, dude, don't even have to project. The power is within, man. So true, Mad Style. And I'm talking about both men and women right now, you know. I find that shit hot when a woman doesn't have to say anything, and I feel that power coming from that woman like that. She doesn't have to say a goddamn thing. She doesn't have to chant. She doesn't have to do that crazy screaming shit. She doesn't have to do any of that. And she's just sitting there, and she's got that look. I'm just like putty in her hands, man. I'm like, oh my God, do whatever you want. Like that is power. That is power. Okay. And when I've been around my dad, he didn't have to say jack shit, and like he would give me a look, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm doing something wrong, and I would legit walk out of the room. I didn't know what. I could be sitting there, and then my dad just gives me a stare. Didn't have to say anything. And I'd like look at him, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like I'm like, I must be doing something wrong. He's looking at me in a certain manner, and to the point where I would drive myself crazy. I would legit just get up, walk to another room, and be like, okay, I don't know what was going on there. Like, so the most powerful people in my life don't have to say anything. Don't have to say anything. They don't have to project anything. So Mad Style, you got that, bro. You got that. What's up, Zyga? How you doing?
And I would be remiss if I didn't point out something historic just happened. From the time the title card hit, after Soul's very brief appearance spying on the children in the beginning of the episode, 13 minutes and 13 seconds passed without a man being on screen.
Yes.
Pretty easy to figure out when you're watching a good show. It's got a world you buy into. You generally know where you are in that world. You know how much time has passed. Characters you're invested in, being consistent and making logical decisions. Everything the Acolyte isn't. So this is the point where things make even less sense. The Jedi claim they thought the planet was uninhabited despite breaking into a fortress. They also claim that they're not there to steal children.
The Jedi do not take children.
Do you speak any English?
Then Obi-Wan Trinity states you cannot deny a Jedi testing future Padawans, except when you can.
With your permission, of course.
But here comes the big one. You thought Anakin Skywalker was special with his immaculate midichlorian conception? Haha, that's nothing.
Where is their father?
They have no father.
And later we find out why.
I carried them.
I created them.
You heard that right. Two women, through the power of the the thread, conceived twin.
Gator says chicks ruin everything. Nah, dude. Nah, even lesbians are cringing at this shit, Gator. Lesbian immaculate conception, man. Even lesbians are like, what the fuck is this shit? You know? Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like all the extremes you hear from the LGBTQ plus community, are from the minorities of that community. You know, a lot of, I know gay people in my life. I have friends who are gay. I have friends who are lesbians. You know, a lot of them, when I sit down and I talk to them, they're saying, you know what, DG, like, they're fucked up. Like, people, the LGBTQ community on X, the ones that are the loudest are the minority within the minority. Like, you know, so they're not even being represented correctly. So, you know, like when I'm saying like even lesbians are cringing at this, they truly are, you know, because they are the majority of the lesbians. They're like, what the fuck am I even watching? Like if you're a Star Wars fan, you're a Star Wars fan, whether you have a penis or a vagina, and you're like, what is going on here?
Girls.
Hello, Masha. Hello, Fasha. Masha Ruten. Vista Masha. In the Fasha. Vista Masha.
And you would think with an entire episode that's a flashback that you get some context as to why May wants to kill the 4 Jedi. And I guess in a way you do. This episode confirms that the Jedi are complete idiots and that they're there to steal children. Other than that, everything goes down the way they said in the first 2 episodes. Osha and May are tested. May fakes her test. Osha doesn't because she wants to become a Jedi. May feels betrayed and wants to keep her sister there by killing.
This is a pushed agenda by a corporate entity that thinks that people don't know well enough to be accepting. The view on the both the left and the right is that there aren't enough people who understand how to be a rational human, civil human being. The narrative is we're all fucked. We're all racist. We're all homophobic. We're all blah, 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 because, you know, what we see on the internet is so extreme that everybody thinks that's what the world is. And frankly, that is not what the world is. There are plenty of people that are tolerant. There are plenty of people who are not racist. There are plenty of people that are not homophobic. There are plenty of people out there who are just human beings who love other human beings. There's plenty of people who aren't sexist. There's plenty of people, but like what you see on the internet is the extremities, the polar extremes. So the corporate agenda is to write the narratives to right all the wrongs of the world, that everybody's fucked up, that we don't know how to be human beings, so they're going to teach us how to be. And the thing is no. First off, I don't need corporations teaching me how to be. Secondly, I am not the loud radical left. I am not the loud radical right. I am a fucking human being that is very tolerant. And, you know, to have corporations push like these agendas on people is the actual problem. And people are afraid of speaking up against that because they're like, oh, I better not speak up against this because I might be taken out of context and somebody might throw everything I say and cut it up and edit it so it makes me look like a terrible human being. Just be brave enough, whether you're a man or a woman, to stand up against shit like this. Just be brave enough to stand up against this shit. You don't want to live in a world like this. This leads to socialism, man. And you do not want to live in a socialist environment. If you value your freedom, if you value your individuality, if you value choice, if you value freedom of speech, if you value capitalism, you do not want to be put in this box. This box is a very bad box because I'm telling you, once you're in this box, it is very hard to get out and you will be stuck. And it will take a generation or 2 to get out of the box. Be careful the agendas that people are pushing on you. What these people are telling you is that you're everything that you're not and that you need to be taught. That's literally what it means. And people are scared to say that. Don't be scared. Speak out against this. This is the most heinous thing in the world. To be taught to like you're a child, like you are the problem. You aren't the problem. No matter your sex, no matter your race, no matter any of these things, you're a human being first. And you're usually, and I say this because I understand humanity for the most part wants good things to happen to them. Love, man. Love conquers all. Love will conquer fear. Love shines through. Love will fucking slay anything in your way. And most people operate off of that. And for people that don't feel that love, I feel bad for those people. You need to love those people 10 times as hard because they're lonely and they're hurting, and you shouldn't be taught to like you're a bad person by anyone, frankly, not even just corporate people, but anybody. You're your own person, and especially if you're in this community, you're going to be a tolerant person, because I will kick people out that aren't. But this agenda, dude, it's got to stop, and people really got to speak up about this shit. They just got to.
It's not up to you. You can't stop me. Yes, I can. How? I'll kill you.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Then May sets a fire that spreads rapidly in the stone structure. It blows up the giant computer banks, I'm not really sure what they were, that may or may not have been sabotaged. The guy from Squid Game manages to save OSHA, but he's unable to save May, who falls off a bridge, and he never bothers to check on the body.
I can't even watch any more of this. I like this Nerdrotic guy. We'll say this. I'm going to subscribe to this dude. I'm going to put this link in here. I feel like this guy is a pretty rational person. And I like rational people. So go there if you're live. If you're watching on YouTube, give this a like and a share. Spread the message that we're actually human beings, and we know what the fuck is the difference between right and wrong. And we definitely don't need a corporation to teach us. Socialism is crazy. Let me tell you what, you do not want to be in a socialist environment. We're literally being taught as a nation to be in a socialist environment because it's quote unquote easy. Because everything will be provided to you. Don't go there. Don't go there, people. Don't let them teach you like this. This is how it begins, man. Like this shit. They're disguising it in this moral cloak. The people who are the most powerful, they're disguising it in this morally, like this moral cloak. You know, like you should listen to us. We will provide to you. And these are the ways you should be. We are naturally tolerant, good human beings. Okay? Don't let anyone teach you. Okay? Only those you trust and love the most, and have an open mind, and just be an observer. Just be an observer of the world. Be an observer of the world. Draw your own conclusions and go with love. That's it. That's it.